All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the RSP Lounge here at Ranger Stop Atlanta. Ranger Stop and Pop Atlanta, actually. Let me get that right. I'm here with the one and the only Zordon. What's up, David? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so I was just telling them. I was just telling guys. I was telling David off air. I was like, the 12-year-old me right now is jumping for joy. He drops his legendary line. Drop it up for us.
Teleport to the command center immediately.
Jesus, I mean, does it get any better than that? I want to wake up to that every morning. I hope you know that. So, you've been doing the convention scene for quite a while. I follow you on Instagram.
Yeah.
How is it for you seeing all these people come out and, remember you and idolize you? Like, you were part of everyone's childhood for many years, up until Power Rangers in Space when they made you disappear. You know. So, how was that for you?
It's always very humbling to come out and to meet people that watch the show and revere the show. So to be honest, these kind of things are my favorite part about being part of Power Rangers, because I get to meet people and hear their stories about what the show means to them, and that elevates me. So it lets me know that something I did one day 30 years ago still is doing good today, and that elevates me up. So.
And 30 years later, because it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. We were talking off air, guys, and I mentioned that Boom Studios is doing the War of Eltar and retelling the story of Zordon and where he came from. Pretty amazing. So we get to hear more about you, because you'll always be Zordon. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the early days of becoming Zordon? And I know, you have mentioned in the past, they basically used your face, right? And that was it. And then you told the story where you kind of never got back.
Yeah,
to the show, right?
Being cast was a high point, because I had only been in Los Angeles for a couple of months when I got the job, and I had met people that had been living out there for 20 years and had been trying and never got anywhere. And so I felt very lucky and fortunate to have just sort of showed up in town and then been sort of ushered into this thing. But the bittersweet part of that was that they only filmed the character one time. And so I learned a very harsh Hollywood lesson right away that, especially on a show that was non-union at the time, so there were no real protections for the talent and stuff like that. So while it was very cool to be a part of this superhero show, and I was very excited because when it was first airing, it aired in sort of like a Power Hour block with the X-Men cartoon.
Yes, I remember. Yeah,
very excited about the X-Men cartoon. And my character was a lot like the Professor X character, so I felt that's very cool. But at the same time, I felt very disconnected from the show, much like Zordon, separated from everybody by a great distance. And I was never on set with them again after the initial filming. And once I left the show, I never saw them again for almost 20 years. So,
wow, really?
Yeah.
Did you stay in touch with anyone? I know I've actually had you. Whoa. And this is live, folks. This is all live television right now. So I've actually had you before on the Fantastic Duo show with Steve Cardenas.
Yeah.
I had you, and I had I forget his name. He played Goldar, the voice of
Kerrigan.
Goldar as well.
Kerrigan.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kerrigan. You guys were hilarious, by the way, all of you together. But it's cool to see, though, that even though you were there for that short amount of time, you're still Zordon, forever, no matter what. You'll always still, for fans everywhere, you'll always be Zordon. There will never be another. Even the movie Zordon with Fox or whoever that was, wasn't Zordon. We know that. So you have stayed that close knit, right, with your friends of the show, right?
Not initially. I met them when I auditioned. I met them again when we filmed. But then after that, I never saw them or hung out with them.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't until 2014 when I went to my first Power Morphicon that I reconnected with everybody. And I didn't know that they were going to remember me, but I was reintroduced to Austin and David Yost and Walter Jones, and they remembered. They knew who I was, and that was very awesome because I thought everybody had forgotten about me. Even a few years before that, after joining Facebook, I would get messages every now and then from strangers asking me if I was the guy who played Zordon. And I was like, wow, is that whatever happened to that show? I had, completely sort of forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And then when I started digging into it, I was like, well, this thing is still going on. What is going on? So it was very surprising and overwhelming to go to my first Power Morphicon and to meet so many people that would want to meet and talk with me. It was just very, very cool.
That's so cool. And did you, by any chance, like, even though you weren't on the show, did you ever, in the back of your mind, think that you were cementing your legacy? Because you do understand that even long after we're gone, this show is, kids are going to be able to Google it. Kids are, the internet is alive and well. It's not going to go anywhere.
Right. And when we were doing it, there was an internet, but it wasn't available to everybody.
Correct.
This was before personal home computers. This was before the pop culture explosion. Yeah. So when I was cast on this show, and I understood, I had grown up watching Saturday morning cartoons and after school cartoons.
Guilty.
And back then, those shows were on for maybe a season, maybe two, and then they disappeared.
Yes.
You didn't watch them again. So when we were doing the show, I thought, well, this show might have a year of life, and then it'll be replaced by the next thing. So I never thought about it as anything that would have any sort of longevity. It was just a job.
Right.
And then, of course, the 90s happened, and personal computers and the internet and the pop culture explosion, and then, when conventions started popping up all over the place, that's when we were all kind of sucked back into the fold, and here we are today. That's
so awesome. That's really good to hear. I'm so happy that you're still, we as fans, because I'm still a fan, obviously, we love you, and we follow you on social media, and we care about the things that you have to say, because, for us, you were one of our childhood leaders, right?
Yeah,
because you were the leader. You brought the Rangers together.
And I try to live up to that. I mean, one of the first conventions I went to, I heard a story from somebody in the audience about how they came from a very troubled home, and that their only moment of respite during their week or their day was this half hour of television that would take them on a journey that would make them feel stronger and protected. And so I understood the impact of what the characters were doing, and again, that makes me feel very humble and proud to be a part of a show that has such a positive effect on people. And so I try to keep that whatever image that somebody has in their mind about the character and stuff. I try to respect that and live up to that as much as I can.
Well, just know that will always live forever. And even the young kids now coming up, watching the old school episodes, still look up to you because you're the leader of the Power Rangers. You put the Power Rangers together.
Yeah.
So
it's all Zordon's fault.
It's always damn Zordon, So I'm glad that you took the time to come out here to the RSP Lounge and talk to us. Can you tell us what you're gonna be out here all weekend?
I am. We're here until 8 o'clock tonight, and then tomorrow we're here all day, and then Sunday all day. So.
Yeah, and just know, man, as fans, and this is coming from people that I know personally, we know that you're it. You're the OG, and nobody will ever.
Well, thank you.
Will ever take care of that. So, guys, once again, Zordon. You want to drop that line one more time for us?
This is David J. Fielding, Zordon from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. May the power protect you.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, folks. With that being said, we're going to be catching you guys a little bit later with more guests. We're here till about 6 or 7 o'clock, and then tomorrow all day we're going to have all kinds of guests on here. So stay tuned, follow us, and make sure you share all of this amazing stuff that's happening here at Ranger Stop and Pop. And thanks again, sir. Appreciate you.